What's up guys, welcome back to another video. This video is gonna be a little bit special because we have 2 days to film. We have today and we have Saturday to film. Now because we have 2 days, I can do something that is time consuming and not really good for filming or not that interesting for filming. Today we're gonna tackle the wheels. Now you could say, hey, what's wrong with the wheels? They look pretty perfect, some minor scuffs, but they look pretty good. Well, today I'm gonna paint strip them because this is gonna be a long process. I mean, paint stripping wheels, all the nooks and crannies, it's gonna be a lot of work, and I have to do 2 of them because I'm gonna do the back and front wheel all together. So I can focus on that today, and on Saturday I can do some other stuff, some more important, well, not really important stuff because we haven't got the parts in. As you saw before, like the forks, we still need parts for that. The engine, we still need parts for that. So I'm gonna focus on this. And on Saturday, I'm gonna do some preparation work for like the carb install and when we reattach the spring to the frame, all that good stuff that is more interesting to film than just paint stripping wheels all day. In the meantime, when the wheels are stripping them of their paint, I'm gonna clean up the shop. The shop looks absolutely dirty. Well, not really this part. This part looks pretty nice, pretty clean. Mainly, I'm gonna clean up inside of there because that is where I store my parts, my new parts and my old parts and all miscellaneous stuff. Get that all cleaned up, get that more organized so we can have a cleaner workflow. So let's start coating these wheels in paint strippers so it can do its work. So that was a lot of work, but I got them finished, and as you can see, they look absolutely perfect. Why would you ever cover this up with paint? Of course, because of the weather. I mean, riding this in the rain would make them dirty, but we are not planning on riding in the rain. We just want to make a nice bike, and as you can see, it looked absolutely perfect. I'm pretty happy about it. I did the other wheel, it's on the bike, so we can have a look on how it connects with the engine, because that is also the important part and why we did it. So here it is with the engine. It all blends nicely together. It is so beautiful. I'm pretty happy about it. Now it's the end of day 1 and I'm not gonna talk a lot because we still have another day. I cleaned up the shop back there. Not really point of showing you guys this. Maybe at some point I will do a garage tour and explain everything that is in here, how it came about and where it come from and what I'm planning to do with it. But I'm gonna do that at a milestone, maybe at 5,000 subscribers, who knows. So this is the end of day 1. Time to roll into day 2. It is day 2 and I'm not gonna talk that much because I already do that plenty enough. But today we're gonna work on the engine. We're gonna put some stuff on there so we can have a more clear idea when we start to weld the frame, a little bit more like the back spring and whatever. So that is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mount the cylinder head, start working on the intake because we're gonna have to make our own intake manifold because we're gonna put on a different carb than the old one. We're not gonna use that one because that is a mixing carb. I mean, we don't want that. We want a standard normal carb which we can tune, so we're gonna go for a upgraded one, a bigger one, but the old one got to go. And because we are using a bigger one, we need a new intake manifold, so I'm gonna make that plate so that we are some steps ahead for when we start working on the intake manifold, so we don't have to do that much and we can get the job done fairly quickly. So let's just start with it, and at the end of the video I'm gonna explain everything that I did. So start the time lapse. So here it is. At the end of the day, we did I wouldn't say a lot of work, but certainly tedious work. What we did, we made the plate for the intake manifold, and we made a block off plate where the oil pump used to be. Of course, we're not using that because we want to mix our own fuel. So we removed the pump and I made a block off plate just to keep the inside of the CVT clean, so we don't get a lot of dirt in there and we can keep it clean-ish, whatever. Also, I put on the cylinder kit. Yes, I used normal paper. No, this is not how I'm gonna mount it. It's just for mock-up, so it's on there. I can see how it fits on the bike. Of course, we don't have the crankshaft and the piston yet. So when we are waiting, we can see how it will fit, what our limitations are. And I just put paper between it just to protect the surfaces of the cylinder head and the cylinder itself. So yeah, let me show you the plate. I'm pretty happy about how it turns out, and the block off plate. So this is the plate that you saw me make. I made it the same shape as the reed valves, or the plate of the reed valves. So it's nice and clean, no dirt can go under there. With the original plate, this was straight, so dirt could get in there. Now we can clean it up. All nice and perfect. It took a lot of work grinding, filing, and make it all nice and pretty, but it turned out pretty good. Now, one tip when you make plates like this, if it's for intake manifolds or exhaust ports, drill the holes first. You drill the holes, put the plate wherever it needs to mount, and then you draw the shape. If you draw the shape and you then drill the holes, things could misalign. And now, as you can see, I have a nice smooth edge right here, because when you're drilling, holes can shift. I got this with this one. This hole wasn't aligned. These three bolted up fine, but this one doesn't. So I had to make the hole a little bit bigger, but not that much. And then when I draw the shape of the reed valves, I could grind it all down and make it all nice and pretty. Now, this block off plate, it's not the prettiest. It's not as pretty as that one, because this is aluminum and it's a little bit softer to work in, which is good, but you grind away a lot of stuff. I still need to polish it, clean it up and whatever, but it's on there. It is closed up and it's doing its job. Now, of course, we're not done with making plates like this. We are using a different style exhaust. We're gonna make a custom exhaust, or a custom-ish exhaust. We're gonna use an exhaust of an existing bike, and we're gonna mount it on this bike, so it wasn't intended to go on the Fox. We already sold the stock exhaust, so we cannot use that anymore, but we need a way to connect the exhaust to the cylinder head. So what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to make a plate for this right here. This should be pretty easy. 2 holes and then just the shape. I'm gonna use the same method as I used for the intake manifold. Just make the plate, and when we are ready to put the exhaust on, I already have the plate. I don't have to make it, and the whole process becomes a lot quicker. Also, a aluminum plate needs to be made. I already stuck in the bolts right here. This is where the starter was, so we're gonna have to block that off because it also connects to the CVT, and we don't want any dirt, grime or water or whatever in there. So I'm gonna have to make a plate for here, but this one is a little bit tricky. These standoffs are a little bit higher than this, so if I make a plate, it wouldn't be connected to this edge right here, but I'm gonna get some rubber and put some rubber in here, build it up, so when the plate is on there, it pushes against the rubber, and so that is how we're gonna seal it off. On this plate, I'm just gonna use liquid gasket and put that on there because it's pretty sealed on there. So we're just gonna need some liquid gasket. Also, what you saw me do in this video was paint strip the wheels. They look absolutely perfect. They blend in with the engine. Of course, we're gonna have to sand them, make them all nice and pretty again, mount some tires and whatever, but that is gonna be for a later video. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna sand the wheels. The shade is gonna sand the wheels. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do the back wheel and the front wheel. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give him sandpaper, I'm gonna give him the knowledge to sand the wheels, and then he just gonna have to go ham on it when we are working on the bike together, when he comes back and sees the bike for real again, because it's been a long time since he been here and he saw the bike. Of course, he's seen a lot of pictures of it and the videos, of course, but not in its real form. He doesn't seen this engine in its real form, so it will be fun when he comes back and works on the bike. Then we can have a little talk about what he thinks of the bike, what we still can do, what his plans are. So we're gonna put him on the spot and let him give a full explanation about his bike and what he loves and all that. But that is when he gets the time to come over here and work with me on the bike. Because I'm not doing it all by myself, he's gonna have to help me. So I don't know what the plan is gonna be for next week. Am I gonna build the plates if I get the rubber or whatever? Or if I'm gonna do a little tutorial video on the carb. I got some people asking me how to clean the carb, or their bike is not running good and I say clean the carb, and how do I clean the carb? I'm gonna show you my method when I clean carbs, or when I clean every single part. It's basically the same idea, but with the carb you have to be, I'm not gonna say concerned about stuff, but you have to do some preparations when you put the carb back together so it's nice and clean. So this video wasn't really that eventful. I mean, for bike building stuff, it wasn't that eventful. We paint stripped the wheels, we made an intake manifold plate, and we make a block off plate. So not really that eventful, but in the end it's all coming together. So the next step doesn't take that long, and we don't have to dedicate a whole nother video about making a plate and then welding on the tube and doing all that stuff. So if you like this build and you want to follow along, there will be a link in the description down below so you can see every single video that we made about this bike. And if you like what you see, you can always subscribe, and then you can follow along with everything I do on this bike and on future project, because we have still a future project. We still have to build my bike, but for now we are working on the Fox. So yeah, so that is gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. And if you're not already subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.